Shalom Israel. We are the I.S.U.P.K. Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, coming out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the commanding General YAHANNA. We are here to bring you this truth, and we have been bringing this truth since 1969. And the truth is that the so-called blacks, the so-called Hispanics, and the so-called Native Indians are the true Jews of the Bible, and the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Right.
This is Be More Brotherhood class. And what we're going to be going through today is, of course, brotherhood. We're going to be speaking on brotherhood. First question I want to ask is, do you know what brotherhood is? You know what brotherhood is?
Brotherhood is, looking out for your neighbor, black, Hispanic, and Native American brother, helping them out, when, for instance, if you at the gas station and you got $12 and the brother say, can I get 50 cents? I give him $1. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true.
I look out for my brother.
True. What you got, Bob?
Brotherhood is loving someone of your nation, of your nationality, loving the people of the same lineage as you will love yourself, as you will love the Most High in Christ. The same way that you will love Christ, you gotta love your brother also. That means whether it's sacrificing, whether it's giving them something to eat, whether it's giving them clothing, whether it's saying that they okay, whether it's even to watch the kids, making that sacrifice for your people, for the people of your nation, is what brotherhood is all about, making that bond stronger through not only the knowledge of the scriptures, but making that bond stronger through doing these commandments.
Exactly. And another thing brotherhood is brotherhood is supporting our own. Brotherhood is not supporting the other nations, the heathens of the other nations. That's brotherhood. Brotherhood is supporting our stores and not theirs. Brotherhood is buying from us and not them. We can sell to them, but we should buy from our own. We can sell to them just like they sell to us, but we should buy from our own. The first scripture, let me ask another question. Another question is can anybody tell me what is the epitome of brotherhood? You know what the epitome of brotherhood? What's the best example of brotherhood? What is the epitome of brotherhood?
Showing your brother the law, statutes, and commandments.
Showing the law, statutes, and commandments. That's great. That's perfect. Showing the law, statutes, and commandments. Giving the brothers the law, statutes, and commandments is the epitome of brotherhood. Living by these laws, statutes, and commandments is a perfect example of brotherhood. And another thing is being in this I.S.U.P.K, that's another epitome of brotherhood. The first scripture we want to bring out is 1 John chapter 4, verse 20. Get that for me, brother?
Come. 1 John chapter 4, verse 20. If a man says, I love God, and hateth his brother, he is a liar.
Say that again.
If a man say, I love God, and hateth his brother, he is a liar.
He is a what?
He is a liar.
Say that again.
He is a liar.
He is a liar. If a man saith that he loveth his brother, or loveth God, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. You can't say you love God and hate your brother, because to love God is to love your brother. It's impossible to love God and hate your brother. You got anything on that?
Yeah. Out here in this world, we say things a lot from our so-called hearts, from our mouths. Yeah, we love the brother, but are we actually showing that we love our brother? Are we actually making those sacrifices to show our brother that we love him? Like if he in trouble, are we going to go to him in need? If a brother needs some clothing, are we going to give him the shirt off our back if we need? A lot of people do and say, a lot of people say out of their mouths, but they do not do in deed. If you going to say that you love the Most High say love not in word, but in deed. So if you going to love your brother, you got to show them that you love them, not just say it.
True, true. You know, you can't just say you love him. You can't just say you love God. You gotta prove that you love God, and you gotta prove that you love the Most High by loving your brother. Read on, brother.
For he that loveth not his brother, whom he hath seen, how can he love God, whom he hath not seen?
Say that again. Read that again. Read that part again.
For he that loveth not his brother, whom he hath seen, how can you love God, whom he hath not seen?
How can you love a God that you have not seen and hate a brother that you see every day? We walk up and down these streets every day hating our brothers. And we walk up and tell people we love God. We try to preach the Most High to everybody, and then we hate our brothers. You know, that's Christianity right there. Christianity teach you that.
Right.
If you ain't right, Christianity don't like you if you ain't right. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Christianity preaches hate. You know, that's just the culture of the white man.
Exactly. How you gonna say that you love the Most High, but yet your brother is out there homeless, sleeping on the street? How you gonna say that you love the Most High when your brother up there sitting there hungry and you up there eating a big meal, and yet you can't offer your brother a piece of bread or a crust or even some of what you eating just so that your brother can be fulfilled or be not hungry? You can't say that you love the Most High and see your brother suffering. To love the Most High is to tend to your brother's needs, to make sure that he is taken care of, that he is strong. A lot of the Christian church have been saying, "Oh, we love God," but the Most High been making the Christian church out of a lie. Because why? He said, "If you love me, keep my commandments." And none of the churches or these religious organizations have kept one commandment of the Most High, nor have they done a high holy day. They do what America says, and they do what the so-called white man says, who have taught their pastors and preachers for years and centuries. They do not do anything according to the Bible, and the Bible makes them out of a liar. So if these Christian churches say that I love your brother, the Most High is saying that these churches up there making them hate their own brother. Because why? You got the white man teaching. You ain't going out of this Bible. You going off of what the white man say and what society say how you should do a person if they harm.
That's exactly right. You can come up into a Christian church. You can have on old raggedy clothes, and the Christian preachers, they'll turn their nose up to you. You understand what I'm saying? They turn their nose right up at you, you know, but they supposed to love God, right?
Right.
And they turn their nose up at you if you don't look like them. You know, that's Christianity. You understand what I'm saying? That's white culture. That's white supremacy. We talked about that last week, you know? That's a perfect example of Christianity. Christianity is nothing but a culture of a white race that hates you. So how could you be a Christian? You know what I mean? They hate you, but they claim they love God. You understand what I'm saying? You got any more on that, brother?
And this commandment have we from him.
Go back to the last part in 1 John 4:20. After where it says, "For he loveth not." Go back to that.
Come on. For he that loveth not his brother, whom he hath seen, how can he love God who he hath not seen?
It says, "For he that loveth not his brother who he hath seen." You see your brother every day. You run into him. You might be living with your brother. How you gonna say that you love the Most High whose face you haven't seen, but yet you gonna say that you love your brother, and yet you don't even want nothing to do with him, and y'all might be living in the same house, or y'all might be passing by each other in the street. The white man has taught our people to come away from what the Bible says how to love your brother, and the Christian church, under the rulership of the so-called white man, has taught us to hate our brother. We're supposed to love our brother unconditionally. If he does something to us, we're supposed to forgive our brother 70 times 70 or as much as possible. So for you to love your brother, that means give forgiveness for the things that happened in the past. Do these commandments. Love the Most High love your brother according to how the Most High wants you to love your brother. Love your people and your nation. Because how can a house stand or people or a nation stand, our nation stand, when it's divided? That's why the Most High say to love your brother as thou love thyself, which means if you raise up your brother and he is strong and you are strong, guess what? The whole nation will start becoming strong by the example they're looking at you.
This white man has definitely taught about brotherhood.
Right.
The white man has taught about brotherhood so much so that we begin to hate ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? We begin to hate our brothers on the street. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Even down to the women. You can tell the women hate themselves. You can tell women hate other women. I mean, look at them wearing all that fake hair. They want to be the white woman. You understand what I'm saying? Look at all this hair they putting up in the hair. I can remember back in the early 80s, you would get crapped on. They would talk about a female, she had fake hair up in her head.
Exactly.
Now when you see a woman with her natural hair, they get ridiculed and ostracized. You understand what I'm saying? Because the white man got us thinking so hard that we need that white hair to look like them so much that we don't even love our own people. And that destroys the brotherhood. Go ahead, brother.
And check it out. Our women have been destroyed by hating one another and then hating the brothers. Maybe they might have an issue for their father, but we in the I.S.U.P.K can fix that under the right wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of these scriptures, getting the right counsel. This white society had told our sisters, like you said, to hate themselves by wearing all this fake hair. It's a horse running around somewhere naked. Just be for real. If it ain't yours, why you got it in your head? Because it was a report that had came out that all this human hair that they were shipping from these other countries was being dug up from out of trash bins and trash heaps. And they would go and take it and wash it and repackage it to make it look new. But when the sisters had it on their hair for a certain amount of time, they found out why their hair was having sores and why it was itching, because maggots was in their hair. If they really wanted to sell you some real hair, then they would go ahead and get something that's clean, that's directly from the source, not from out of the trash heap or somebody else's hair. It's nothing wrong with wearing your hair. Wearing our own hair is our culture. That's what makes us separate from everybody else. We shouldn't be trying to look like these other nations. We should be trying to be as the Most High said for us to be, natural, not to be out there, looking like a transformer, not out here making illusions with this makeup. Be yourself. Our people are the most beautiful people on the face of the planet. Why you gotta try to look like another nation when the Most High said you are a special people above all people on the face of the earth? That's Deuteronomy 7:6.
White man totally destroyed our brotherhood. And give me Ecclesiasticus 12:10. Ecclesiasticus 12:10 in the Apocrypha. This white man has destroyed us, you understand, to the point where, we got more trust in the heathen than we got in our own people. You understand what I'm saying? You see our people out here, we rob our own people like it ain't nothing. But these heathens walk around untouched, unscathed. You understand what I'm saying? We got more trust in them heathens. Brothers put their face up, they put their nose in the air when they looking at their own brothers. But when these white people come around, or when these Chinese people come around, they got their heads face to the ground. You understand what I'm saying? They'll watch out for a Chinese person before they watch out for their own people. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly. And where is our people black pride now? All this Black Lives Matter, black and proud and all this. Where's our pride now? Our pride used to be to where our own people took care of their nation, took care of their neighborhood, their nation, watched out for each other, our own people. But now you have these Arabs, these Chinese, these other nations that have moved into our neighborhood and totally took over, shut us out of trying to own a business. And what do? They sell us products that we need. The Most High said he was going to put a foolish nation over us, which means that's the so-called white man and these other nations. That's in Psalms 83:3-18. These other nations have came and totally obliterated the black dollar, going back to the black neighborhood. That's why we have no kind of business. That's why we can't have a legacy for our children. But you go to a white neighborhood to where they got their businesses, you see the legacy walking all around there. White people with their nose up in the air looking down at you. When the Most High say you're a prince, that you are a princess, that you are great. Our people have been destroyed by these other nations. We need to start taking care of ourselves and having businesses within our own people. That's how we are going to survive and rise above that.
Good, bro.
Yeah, that's so heavy that you said, like the Chinese and Japanese, they're not our brothers.
No, they not.
Because they sell us, rat meat,
What's that?
We in the city of Baltimore. You know how many times a Chinese joint got shut down because they're selling cats and dogs and rats, and I'm pretty sure they're still doing that. I remember going to the store and eating some yakami and say, you know what, this just don't taste like beef, and I throw it away.
You know what your mama beef tastes like. You know what your mother cooked that beef, you know how tender that beef come out.
Right.
Beef come out when you go into these Chinese stores, that beef come out rubbery.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
When you overcook beef, it comes out real tender. When you undercook it, it's tough.
Right.
It's never rubbery.
Right.
So you tell me what that meat is.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So that's the brotherhood that they have, because they sell that to you, but they won't sell it to their own people.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the brotherhood that they got. That's the brotherhood that we should have. You understand? That's what's missing in our culture. That's the brotherhood that's missing in our culture.
Right.
Exactly. And then in this society today, whether we know it or not, these businesses that have been set up by Chinese, by Arabs, by all these other nations, they basically selling us poison, because we had went away from the tradition of cooking for our own people and our families and take our money and go to them. The Chinese have a day in China, where they catch all these dogs and all these animals, and they'll catch them, steam them, throw them in hot water, cook them, chop off the legs, the heads, and everything, and then they'll sell it as meat in their market. That's why I think it was the Olympic Games had to shut down, because they found that a whole lot of vendors in Seoul, Korea, was up there selling dog meat, selling cat meat. When you go to these other nations to eat, you don't know what they're getting. They don't have to sell you anything that's feasible or the right kind of meat to eat. They can sell you anything, and because they know they're gonna get our money, we don't even know what it is. And when they investigated, that's why a whole lot of things in our own city get shut down. A whole lot of restaurants get shut down, because that is not the meat that we're supposed to be eating. And we eating these things that these heathen nations deem fit or worthy. We're supposed to be eating according to the dietary law that the Most High said.
Exactly. Let's go back to this Black Lives Matter thing too, right? Black Lives Matter was started by a heathen, a white man. You understand? And then not only that, this white man took, what's that, 3 lesbians?
Exactly.
3 lesbians, and placed 3 lesbians over the Black Lives Matter. How can a black life matter when the 3 people you got representing it represents among us black people? Lesbians can't represent life. That's not brotherhood at all. You understand? Lesbianism represents death. You understand? So that white man placed 3 lesbians who represent death over a cause that was supposed to be representing life, right?
And check this out. I think I'm saying this right. They was pro-choice, which means they wanted and was marching for abortions. Those same 3 lesbians.
Exactly.
Marching for abortions, trying to stop, certain women from having babies.
So let me ask you, how can 3 lesbians marching for abortion? That means they don't even love their own culture.
Exactly.
They don't even love their own people. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Matter of fact, this is in Romans 1:25, if I can, for a minute. Romans 1:25. Who changed the truth of God into a lie? Who went into this Bible to see that what God was actually teaching our people and had these laws, statutes, commandments for our people? Who changed to the lie? Look at exactly the white man. Look at who present themselves as God, as Christ, as the angels, as the Israelites, as our people, the prophets of the Bible. Nothing but the white man. And it said, and worship and serve the creature more than the creator. That creature was Caesar Borgia, that face of Christianity, that so-called white Jesus. You cannot find a white Jesus in the Bible.
Not at all.
Then it says, who is blessed forever, amen. Then this is the catch. Verse 26, Romans 1:26. For this cause, talk about the cause of procreation, which these lesbians today didn't want to do. God gave them up to vile affections. These vile affections is having that lust and that affection and that vileness for each other. They don't want a man, they want another woman, which these women and these lesbians, who are a lot of these heads of these organizations, especially like Planned Parenthood, Black Lives Matter, and so on. And it says, for their women even did change the natural use, that which is against nature. Lesbians bumping up against lesbians, doing filthy and vile things. The Most High say that is vile. That is against nature. What a man and a woman supposed to do is to get together and procreate. One man, many women. That's what the scriptures say. One man, many women. It ain't lesbian and lesbian, or it ain't gay and gay. It's supposed to be man and woman. That's the two genders that the Most High made. It ain't all these pansexual, metrosexual, all these other different types of so-called genders that the LBGT had made up. It's man and woman, period. That was the purpose for it, for procreation, so that we can build our nation through having a lineage and a bloodline.
This is the reason why we can't trust the white man. The white man has totally destroyed the brotherhood in our community and amongst our nation. Go ahead, brother.
And I don't mean, one man and have two lesbians either.
Exactly.
Some men, women too. Like to have two women, kissing and whatever. You know what I mean? That's an abomination against the Lord. And if a man allows that, you will be dealt with by the Lord. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna continue in verse 27. And it says, and likewise, also the men leaving the natural use of the woman. That's the LGBT community. You got gay, lesbian, queer, transgender. The Most High never made any of that. That was the white man lust of being back there in that spirit of Rome and Sodom and Gomorrah. And that came to America.
He said, and leaving the natural use of the woman. He pushed the woman to the side, sleep with a man, lay with a man, lie with a man. Mankind should not lie with mankind. We see that. We know that verse in the Bible, right? But the white man takes what is good and changes it to evil, and what's evil changes it to good. Go ahead, continue.
And then it says, burn in their lust one towards another. Men with men working that which unseemly. A rod is supposed to go into another man. A rod is supposed to go into a woman, which is the greatest thing. Sex with a woman is the greatest thing. You up there being a man with another man, what y'all gonna do? What y'all gonna do all day? Y'all gonna rub up against each other? That is not the right kind of feeling.
That's sword fighting.
Exactly.
He put us
I don't want to rub up against nothing that's like me. That is not the nature of what the Most High had already said. If the Most High had a woman, it's for her to be soft, humble, shamefaced, demure, and she's supposed to be with her prince. That she's supposed to definitely humble herself to him. It is not for a man to be with another man. Two violent things cannot be together. Then it says, and receiving themselves that recompense for that error which was right, talking about their judgment. That judgment which lesbian on lesbian, that man on man sex, is in Leviticus 20 and 13, which means if a man lay with a man as they lay with a woman, both of them, not just one, not just the other, but both of them had committed abomination, which is a filthy, wicked, disgusting act against the Most High. Both of them had committed abomination, and their blood shall be upon them, which means you can go into the Bible, and when you read that, it's talk about AIDS, HIV, and all these other diseases out here.
But this white man has totally destroyed our brotherhood. And a lot of us in our nation have put our trust in this white man. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
He has totally deceived us in standing for that national anthem, you know what I mean? And doing all these other cooning our pastors and preachers. They coon for this white man. You understand what I'm saying? You got that scripture for me, brother? That was Ecclesiasticus and out of the Apocrypha. 12th chapter and 10th verse. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me say this about the third. You got coons like Aretha Franklin, Patti LaBelle, Erykah Badu, all these other. And I'm saying they traitors and they coons to their own people. If you are Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, and you up there standing up there for the national anthem, guess what? They must have not sung the third line, because the third line says, from the gloom of the doom of the grave shall neither save the hireling nor the slave.
Now, this is the reason why. This is the reason why we need to stay away from this white man, because he writes his songs about us, about destroying us, and then he make you stand for it. And then if you don't stand for that, he talk about you should be fired. He really want to say you should be killed, you should be murdered. You understand what I'm saying? But he know he can't say that because it'll be an uproar.
Exactly. And the national anthem was created and made by Francis Scott Key.
That a white man that hated niggas for real.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? He hated niggas.
Right.
You got that scripture, brother?
Come.
Go ahead, read that.
Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 12.
Verse 10.
Oh, Slack, verse 10. Never trust thy enemy.
Say it again.
Never trust thy enemy.
One more time.
Never trust thy
The
enemy.
Most High told us never to trust our enemy for a purpose. That purpose is because he knew if we trusted our enemy, we wouldn't trust our brothers. You understand what I'm saying? We wouldn't trust our own people. And you see that today. We trust that Chinese man to feed us, don't we?
Mm.
He feeding us poison and we still trust him.
Mm.
He feeding us cat and dog and we still trust him. Them Indians ain't no telling what they doing to your food.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying?
If they're right about what kind of Indians
Them
are.
East Indians, they red dot Indians.
Hawaii.
We talking about the red dot Indians.
Yeah.
Ain't no telling what they do to your food. And they got all the Dunkin' Donuts, so ain't no telling what they done squirted up in them donuts. You feel me? So I mean, we trust everybody but the people in our nation. Let me ask you a question, right? Who cooked chicken better than these people at Popeyes? I mean, at Popeyes.
Black one.
Black people. But we feeding this white man. You understand? Who cooked chicken better than this man at hip hop? Your mama. But we feeding that Indian. You feel what I'm saying? Who cooked chicken better than that Chinese man? Your mama again. But we feeding them. You understand? We trust these nations more than we trust the people from our own nation. We have a black store right there on the corner, but we choose to go to the Chinese man and buy and spend our food. Then once those stores shut down, what's the first thing we say? We ain't got no stores in our neighborhood. We don't own nothing. The reason why we don't own nothing is because our brotherhood is destroyed so much so that we'll spend money with the Chinese man, even though we got a black store right there. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead, brother.
Exactly. And this is the irony of it. When these stores that we do not own, like Popeyes, like Kentucky Fried Chicken, when they run out of chicken, now we mad, now we angry. We want to get in an uproar all of a sudden. But guess what? Our people been cooking chicken as long as it was created. Leviticus 2:7 and Leviticus 2:5. Fried chicken and baked chicken. We even did shake and bake. So the white man ain't creating nothing. They lie about the Colonel creating 11 herbs and spices and the secret recipe and marinating. He ain't marinating nothing. What he did was stole a recipe from a black woman and then tried to create his own thing. And he was successful because why? He had power over us. So what he did, he marketed it using black people. When you see that black lady up there promoting Popeye's chicken and talk about she's the CEO, she's not. A white woman is the CEO of Popeyes.
She's just the face of Popeyes. She's the face of Popeyes to have you come in there and buy that white man chicken. That's all that is. And what they do, right? And even you can notice it too now in these Chinese stores. What they do is they hire a Hispanic or they hire a black person to work up the front. So when you see them, when we see them, we're like, oh, we're gonna spend our money here because you understand what I'm saying? That's propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
Kawan Balak was talking about that last night, right? Propaganda. This is propaganda that they use to keep that brotherhood broken amongst us. You understand what I'm saying? They do certain things, so specific things, so that we don't connect. Because the more they alienate us, the more we connect with each other. But the more they use their propaganda, the further we go apart from each other. And this is what they do to us. You got some more on that, brother? Go ahead, read.
For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
Read that one more time.
For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Eventually, this white man gonna be revealed. You understand? Just like that iron rusters, as time goes on and the elements hit that iron, it begins to rust. You understand what I'm saying? And so is his wickedness. He is going to be revealed. Eventually, he's going to be revealed, and a lot of eyes are going to be open to him. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead, brother. Eventually, his evilness, it will be revealed. You understand? Hey, let's jump to that next scripture. Give me Matthew 5:22. Matthew chapter 5, verse 22.
Matthew.
I don't know if that's in the breakdowns that you're doing, but I got something. Psalms 58:3.
Psalms 58. Hey, hold your finger that goes. Psalms 58:3.
Psalms.
I got that. Psalms 58:3. I got that. We can go to Psalm 58:3. Go ahead and drop that. Go to Psalm 58.
Psalm chapter 58, verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb.
Repeat that again.
The wicked are estranged from the womb.
One more time.
The wicked are estranged from the womb.
Wicked are estranged from the womb. Go ahead.
Exactly. It says the wicked are estranged from the womb, which means they are separated. They are a strange thing when they come out of the womb, because they do so many things contrary to what our people don't do. Showing you that they don't do anything our people would do. They like to skydive. They like to go ahead, loot, rob, and murder. That's not in our people's spirit. When it tells you about Jacob, it says Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. The so-called white man want to be out there doing field extreme, doing all this hunting, killing animals just because he got the pride of him that, oh, I'm stronger than this animal, so I'm a shoot it and kill it dead. It said once. Sharks. Exactly. I ain't swimming with no sharks.
I'm not good. How did what's his name get killed? How did
Jeff Irwin?
Steve Irwin.
Yeah, Steve Irwin, the alligator, the crocodile hunter.
Right.
A stingray killed him.
Stingray killed him. You understand? They want to swim with all kinds of animals. They want to climb mountains without cords and sliding. They already climb mountains without cords, hanging, bungee jumping. You understand? Exactly. Bungee cord too long, and they bang their heads on the ground and kill themselves. You understand what I'm saying? That's stuff that we don't do. You understand? You feel on that?
A lot. It says the wicked are estranged from the womb. So as soon as they come out of the womb, go ahead and read.
They go astray as soon as they be born.
They go astray as soon as they be born.
Speaking lies.
So it's telling you as soon as they are born, they are liars. They're not going to ever tell the truth. Look at what they trying to teach our kids in school. They teaching our kids white history, what they have done. They never teach the great accomplishments that our people done. We have a lot of great black inventors that made the way for America to be where it is now through our blood, sweat, and tears off of our backs and hard work. The so-called white man profited off of that. And look now, if it wasn't for knowing what to do with plasma by Dr. Charles Drew, if it wasn't for Madam C.J. Walker, it wouldn't be a step or pathway to hair care products. If it wasn't for us knowing how to make clothing or getting the idea to sell fashion, guess what? The whole world wouldn't be doing nothing. They'd be looking plain in them paper bags. And because of us, like Matthew 5:13 say, black people set the trend for the whole world. Whatever black people do, guess what? Everybody else in the world gonna do. But the so-called white man and other nations profit off of it. But if we tend to our own people and do for our own, because we got these skills that the other nations don't have, guess what? They're gonna be coming to us for the need and want of everything.
Read that line again. Ecclesiastes.
Oh, Ecclesiastes. No, we was at Psalms 58.
Psalms 58.
3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born.
They go astray as soon as they be born. They go into wickedness as soon as they be born. Read on.
Speaking lies.
speaking lies. They come out as babies speaking lies. And you know what? This is the thing that destroys me with our people, with us. This is what we do. As soon as these people kill our kids on the street, it's nothing. You understand? But if you say something about a white baby when we out there speaking in the street, when you say something about a white baby, people want to fight you over that. You understand? When these babies are wicked from the womb, they are estranged from the womb. You understand what I'm saying? They come out wicked. This ain't nothing new. What were you talking about the other day when the lady was telling the baby who ate the cookie?
Exactly.
And what did the baby say? A black man did it. You understand? They wicked from the womb. She ain't coached the baby to say that. Right. The baby said that. They wicked from the womb. You understand? Our babies are loving. They caring. You understand what I'm saying? And this is the reason why the white man hates us. You understand? Because everything that we are, he not. You understand what I'm saying? Everything that is promised to us is not promised to him. This is the reason why he hates us. As a matter of fact, talking about that, go to Romans 9 and 13. Let's go to Romans 9 and 13. Let me know when you got that, bro.
Okay. Yes, sir.
You got that?
Come.
Read.
Romans, chapter 9, verse 13. As it was written.
Say that again.
As it was written.
One more time.
As it was written.
As it is written. This is what is written in the scriptures. Read on.
Jacob have I loved.
Hold up. Say that again.
Jacob have I loved.
Go back to the beginning.
As it was written.
Meaning, as it is written, which means it's somewhere else in the Bible, which is the Old Testament, which is Malachi 1:1-2.
Jacob have I loved.
Say that again.
Jacob have I loved.
Who is Jacob? Jacob is the progenitor of the Negro race, right? Jacob have I loved. The Most High says, Jacob have I loved. Read on.
But Esau have I hated.
One more time.
But Esau have I hated.
Last time.
But Esau have I hated.
But Esau have I hated. Who is Esau? Esau is the progenitor of the white race. He says, Jacob have I loved. That means he loved this Negro race. He loves the blacks, Hispanics, and the native Indians. He loved the 12 tribes of Israel. Who was Jacob? Jacob became Israel after he wrestled with the angels. Genesis
32 and 27.
Genesis 32 and 27. Jacob wrestled with the angel. And he wrestled with the angel because he wanted to fight to be blessed. And once he fought with the angel, his name was changed to Israel. It's the 12 tribes of Israel. Something on that.
Yeah, read the next verse.
What shall we say then?
It says, what we want to say that just because God loved the black man, which is Jacob and the 12 tribes, who Jacob's name was changed to Israel, representing the 12 tribes of Israel, what shall we say then? Because the Most High loved one nation and hate the other. God loved the so-called black man, but hate the hate the so-called white man. Read.
Is there unrighteousness with God?
Is there any unrighteousness with God because he loved the black man and hate the white man? This is what the Most High is going to tell you next. Read on.
God forbid.
God forbid, which means hell no. God loves the black man and he hates the white man, as is written in the Old Testament. So where has God or the Most High have changed? The Most High said he is the same today, yesterday, and forever. That the Most High that the Most High do not change. So if the Most High saying right here in the Bible that we read out of, that he loves the black man and hate the white man, why do you got a problem with it?
That was it on that. That's it on that. Give me Leviticus. (19 and 34).
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 34. But the stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one among you.
The stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one born among you. The stranger is as your brother. Read on.
And thou shalt love him as thyself.
And thou shalt love him as thyself. That stranger is one of your kinsmen. That stranger is somebody from your family. He's not talking about a stranger as far as somebody from another nation. He's talking about somebody from your nation. You understand what I'm saying?
Come on, come.
Hey, drop that, go to Matthew 18 and 21.
What scripture was again? What scripture was he just in?
That was
Leviticus 19:34.
Right there.
Hold up a minute.
Go ahead, read it one more time.
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 34. But the stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one born among you.
Stop. This stranger that it's talking about was Israelites. It was talking about your fellow brother, a person of your nation. It was not talking about another nation. Because when you go to like Acts 10 and 28, Paul, I think it's Paul had asked a question. How can one who is a Jew keep company with that of another nation? Keep company with the heathen. So this stranger that is talking about is not talking about somebody of another nation. It was talking about a fellow Israelite. And when you get to the definition of neighbor, it's talking about a fellow Israelite. So when it's talking about this stranger that sojourn with you or travel with you or go with you, because we traveled to different places and we were in different captivities. This was talking about your neighbor, your brother, a person of your nation, your people. And it says, with thee in your land, it says, shall be unto you born one among you, which means one of flesh, blood, and lineage. It was not talking about somebody of another nation. Go ahead.
And thou shalt love him as thyself.
And thou shalt love him as thyself. When it's talking about love them as thyself, when you go into the definition of that, and it says thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, that was also talking about an Israelite, a neighbor, a fellow Israelite by lineage, by blood, and by flesh. It was not talking about strangers who can come, who was converts, and it was not talking about somebody who is not of your nationality, but a fellow Israelite. If you're not one of those 12 tribes, you are considered a heathen and that kind of stranger. But this stranger is talking about one that sojourned with you, which was a fellow Israelite. Because guess what? The Chinese didn't go into captivity with us. The Japanese didn't go into the captivity with us. The so-called white man never went into captivity as of yet. It's coming though.
It's coming.
But it was talking about a fellow Israelite. These 12 tribes whose Jacob is the father of, because of a prophecy in Deuteronomy 28 and 64 to 68, we were in captivity living by each other. So that stranger is talking about those 10 tribes that was also cast out, that had to come back into the fold by Yahushua being a sacrifice unto Israel.
Hey, go up. He was just talking about this. Go back up to that 18th verse. Leviticus 19 and 18.
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge.
Say that again.
Thou shalt not avenge,
Go ahead.
nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. We shouldn't hold a grudge against anybody in our own nation. We should never hold the grudge or want to do something against somebody in our own nation. everything that these people out here on these streets do to us, these Chinese people. They said they got a Chinese man that walked up, was that one of them stores on North Avenue or something like that? That killed somebody or something. And then he walked around with a scarf on his head like he's a man.
Huh.
Yeah, this was a while ago.
Oh,
you understand what I'm saying? But he got off on it. I think they said the dude tried to rob the store or something, or take something out the store, but he didn't have a gun. But the Chinese man shot him in his back. You understand what I'm saying? And now he walk around like he the man now, because everybody know he got a gun and he'll use it. But this is how the other nations, they get protected by this white man. You understand what I'm saying? But all you gotta do is look like you got something. And this white man destroys us right here in the street. And he destroys us in a way that it destroys our brotherhood and our connection with each other. And it destroys us in a way that, just like we said the other night, instead of, this is how we look at it. When we see one of our people get killed in the street, the first question comes to our head is, I wonder what he did for that man to shoot him, instead of wondering why that man shot him. You understand what I'm saying? It's always about what he did. And this is how they portray us on TV too. As soon as the black man get killed on TV, they show every negative thing he did. It ain't even got to do with what happened right here. You understand? But they destroy your character. And now our character is destroyed by them. It's even destroyed in our own minds. Our own characters are destroyed in our own mind, where we don't even trust our own people. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Exactly. And why do you think so many actors, black actors, Hispanic actors, and Native Indian actors, when they start out, had to take the jobs of as an actor and having the roles of a slave, having the roles of playing a coon on TV, having the roles of playing thugs and outcasts and pariahs? That's the things that they give our people, to put our people in light of being those worst things. We have some of our people, try to have a better way of life, try to better themselves. It's Hollywood, and not only Hollywood, but these white people that's in charge of this society are showing our people as being nothing but thieves, drugs, and murderers. How are we drug dealers when a couple of the presidents that sat up there in that seat in the White House were the main drug dealers? We had no planes, ships, no boats to ship anything over here to America, nor do we have poppy fields. Do we own any poppy fields? As far as being a thug, look at the history of white people in these other nations, what they did to us. They come beat us down, sick dogs on us, put us in jail for no apparent reason, unscheduled traffic stops, taking everything away from us, child support that they made up. If you with your child and you taking care of your child, why the hell you gotta pay child support? So that's showing you the evilness that he does to our people by putting us in the light of being these evil, wicked things. When you really look at the other end of the spectrum, they are those things, and they showing you that they these things. They the thugs, they the drug dealers, they the murderers. They up there in the White House as politicians, telling our people what to do. And guess what? Your black pastor and preacher up there telling you, yeah, you should do that. You should go out and vote. You should vote for this people. You should accept them and embrace them. We've been voting and dancing for them for over 350 years. And what has come out of that? Absolutely nothing. Black lives don't matter, because why? They tell you it don't matter. Anytime a black person is shot, nobody can ever find the killer. Anytime a cop do it, oh, he was doing his job. That kind of BS. Go ahead.
Now, it's so heavy that you're talking about, child support that, these black women is putting these men on. And they won't even show the statistics, but I know it's high, that the number of men that got killed over child support just by running from the police. They showed one on TV one time that the man tried to break away from the police and they shot him dead right in his back while he's running. The man had no weapon. He just tried to get away. How many other black men had died on the same, No.
Exactly.
The wicked thing is that their child support, they even set up programs back in the day. It made you think they was having amnesty and would lock dudes up.
Exactly.
But on the child support thing, they faked them out and got them to come in, and then was locking them up. You understand what I'm saying? Just like they're trying to do the Hispanics coming across the border and faking them out, and then locking them up and sending them back out. That's what they do. You understand? That's what they do to our nation.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Why are you gonna lock up our Hispanic brothers? If anybody know any kind of history, according to First Maccabees 1340, well, Second Esdras, my fault. Second Esdras 1340 and to 50. All 10 tribes is already over here before the so-called white man discovered it. Because when you read Second Esdras 1340 and 50, it tells you that no man dwelt here before, which means nobody of another nationality or anything has dwelt here. The native Indians, the Hispanic tribes, and the so-called black man was already over here before the so-called European came to discover something by rape, robbery, and murder. How you gonna discover something and the people was already here? That's wicked as hell.
Another thing, since you said that, they just locked up my man. I ain't listened too much of his music, but 21 Savage. And you meant to tell me, 21 Savage, I ain't know he was from the UK, but that's beside the point. How many other white people is from UK that didn't get no green card at all? How many of these Japanese and Korean bastards in these businesses don't have a green card? Half of them can't even talk English. At least the man know how to talk English. You know what I mean?
A lot of these Africans. It's a lot of these Africans still here.
God.
That's on expired green cards. A lot of these East Indians that's here, that's on expired green cards. A lot of them Koreans that own them corner stores, they here on expired green cards. You understand what I'm saying? But they gonna single us out. You know why? Because the Most High is with us. You understand? We are blessed by the Most High. Go ahead.
Leviticus.
Go ahead and finish that Leviticus 19 to 18.
Leviticus chapter 9, 8, verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Say that again.
But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
We got the definition on the meaning of neighbor. I got it right here, bro.
Oh God,
I got my little dictionary with me right here. Hey, check this out. What's that? This is the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. That's what we use in the UPK. It says for neighbor, it says in the Old Testament, neighbor meant one who lived nearby, a fellow Israelite. You understand?
A fellow what?
A fellow Israelite. That's what neighbor means. See, a lot of people think because you got a white person living next door to you, you gotta be helpful to them. But it wasn't talking about them. It was talking about the people of your own nation. It was talking about fellow Israelites. You got something, bro? Oh, I was just looking over like I thought you were ready to say something. Yeah, he's talking about brothers of our own nation. He's talking about the blacks, Hispanics, and the native Indians, the 12 tribes of Israel, and nobody else. Not no Korean, not no Chinese, not no East Indian, definitely not no white man, and not no African.
Right.
Feel me? You want to jump to something else? Let's jump to something else. Give me Matthew 25 and 40. Matthew chapter 25, verse 40.
Matthew chapter 25, verse 40.
First time, what color is the word said?
Red.
So if the words are in red, who's talking?
That's Christ himself talking.
Exactly. So Christ is telling you this for a reason.
It's coming straight from Yahweh Shah.
Exactly.
Read.
Matthew chapter 25, verse 40. And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me.
Stop. It says unto the least of my what?
Brethren.
So if it's talking about a brethren, what tribe did Christ come out of?
Judah.
Okay, and Judah is one of the sons of who?
Abraham, Isaac,
Jacob is. So Christ come out of the tribe of Judah from Jacob's loins. So what is he? What is his nationality? He's an Israelite. Exactly. So
remember Jacob was the progenitor of the 12 tribes. Jacob became Israel after he fought with the angels. So the 12 tribes of Israel. So Christ is from the 12 tribes of Israel.
Exactly. Hebrews 7:48. So Christ is saying, if you had done it unto one of the least of my brethren, talk about somebody of his nation, of his people, of his nationality, talk about a fellow Israelite, like we read about the definition of neighbor, talking about a fellow Israelite. Read.
Salaki.
Verse 40.
And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me.
So basically what he's saying is, when you do for one of our people on the street, you're doing it for Christ. You're doing it for the Most High. You're not just doing it for them, but you're doing it for the Most High. So say, when you have done it for the least, or let me read that, let me go back on that. It says, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. So the least out there, whoever you have done it for, even if it's the least out there, you have done it for the Most High. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead, read.
Exactly. Christ was saying this straight up and specific. If you're going to do this for me and you love Christ, do it for your brethren also. Just don't do it for him. Don't put on air saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Don't do this with just words. Do this indeed. If you would do this thing for Christ, do it for your brother also. Because you love the Most High, which you say that you love Christ. But Christ is saying, oh, if you love me, love your brother also by doing the same things that you would do for me, do for him.
You know what we do, though? A lot of us out there, we see people struggling. And what we do, we turn our head.
We'll pass by.
We turn our head, though, for what? Because if we ain't see it, we don't have to worry about it. You understand what I'm saying? So what we do, we can see somebody fall off and you know they're struggling, you know they hurt. You will turn and go the other way. Or when they walking past you, will look and act like you're looking at something else. You understand? Because in our mind, if I don't see him, I don't have nothing to do with it. You understand? And this is how the white man has conditioned us, you know, to be like this towards our own people. And then the thing is you will see a white person on the street looking like that, Caesar Borgia, and you will empty your pockets for him. You understand? That's how destroyed we are. We so destroyed that we hate our own brothers and sisters on the street, but we'll call them Chinese people, mom and pop. You understand? That's destroyed right there. That's broken brotherhood right there. That's not brotherhood at all. You understand? We should be calling our elderly mom and pop, if anything. They should be our moms and pops. You understand? But we call them Chinese people there. You understand? We are a destroyed nation. You understand? And the only way for us to come back is to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. You understand? But we are destroyed people. But this is the reason why the Most High has created this I.S.U.P.K. This is the reason why he brought each and every one of us into this I.S.U.P.K. to do this work out here on the streets. Look, if you look at it, we're the only ones out here on the streets. The Muslims don't be out here on these streets like we do. Them Farrakhan people, they don't be out on the streets. When they come out on the streets, what they selling? Newspapers and bean pies. What's that going to do for a nation? You understand what I'm saying? What is the newspaper going to do for us? Ain't nothing but to wipe your butt with. Exactly. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly. And let me add, and he's so right in that. Let me ask this. If a black man is in the midst of getting shot by a white man, you think a Chinese man going to jump in front of him and take the bullet? You think another Chinese man going to take the bullet for a black man, a Hispanic man, a Native Indian man? They not gonna take the bullet because why? They ain't gotta worry about you because you're not their people, you're not their nationality, nor are you their brother. So a Chinese man ain't gonna jump in front of a bullet if a black man getting shot, he gonna be like, oh well, I ain't see nothing. And when the cops come to him, he gonna say, well, he was doing this and doing that. That's how it always is in the news. Them people who are not our people will not defend us, which are right. They will defend their own. So these other nations out here, they don't give a damn about us. But we, as our people of our nationality, of our brothers and sisters, we have to defend our people because why? That is love. When you take up and you show that diligence for defending your brother and sister, you showing that love. Just like how Christ sacrificed himself for the whole nation of Israel, that's how you're supposed to be for your brother. You're supposed to give your all to make sure that that brother or your sister is okay and self-sufficient. You are not supposed to be letting anybody do anything to them. Just like right now, if you go outside in the street and you got your brother and sister standing out there in the street and somebody hit them, what you gonna do? You're gonna get in your spirit, you're gonna get riled up, you're gonna get rough. You're gonna say, ain't nobody doing that to my brother, and that's how people supposed to be with each other.
You all right, Bob? You all right, son?
That's that Gadite blood.
Right.
Hey,
Salaki.
let's go to that let's go to that Psalms 83. Let's break that down. Let's go see how these nations do us. You understand what I'm saying? Let's go to Psalms 83. We start at verse 3. Start at verse 3.
No, start at 1.
Start at 1.
I mean, my fault. Start at 2. Start at 2.
Psalms.
No, start at 1.
All right, you want you come.
Psalms chapter 83, verse 1. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
It says, keep not thy silence, O Yahweh, which means we don't want the Most High to keep silence because the Most High never keeps silence for the things happening to his people, which are us Israelites. The Most High is not going to keep silence for these other nations doing things to us. The Most High is making known on the earth who is his people and who is the wicked that was born wicked, that was born estranged from the womb. Those so-called white people in these other nations coming together to go ahead and kill us and make us not in remembrance, to take our people off the face of the earth because they perpetually hate us, according to Ezekiel 35 and 5-7. Go ahead.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace. We don't want the Most High holding this peace because why? You look over the earth, or what's suffering here on earth right now is blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Everybody else in the world, all these other nationalities, are living deliciously off our pain, misery, blood, sweat, and tears. Go ahead.
And be not still, O Yahweh.
And be not still. We don't want the Most High to be just sitting in one place. We want the Most High to come and help us. That's why we're pleading for Christ to hurry up and come back to set us free and separate us from all these other nations living under their captivity, their tyranny, and the crimes that they commit against us each day. So we ask the Most High not to keep silent, not to keep still, and to bring judgment upon them. For the Most High not to hold his peace. Go ahead.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
It says, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult. A tumult is an uprising. So these other nations have risen up against us and took over us and took a hold of us. And guess what? They in rulership now. When we was in rulership, everything was balanced out as it should be. But when they start rising up because the white man started running his mouth and started conquering us in different places because we broke the Most High laws, because that's the only way they could do it. Guess what? When they made an uprising, they conquered us and put us in slavery and sent us all over the world to serve the slavery and made money off of us. Go ahead.
And they that hated thee have lifted up thy head.
And they that what?
Lifted up the head.
And they that did what? Hated.
Oh, slack. And they that hated thee have lifted up the head.
And they that hated thee have lifted up the head. Hold that. I'm going to go to Ezekiel 35 and 5 to show you who actually hate us. Go ahead. If you can read it.
Ezekiel.
Ezekiel 35:5.
Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred.
Stop. It says, because thou, talk about the so-called white man and the other nations in this instant, had a what?
Have had a perpetual hatred.
What did they have?
A perpetual hatred.
Perpetual means ongoing, never stopping hatred, which means as long as they in rulership, this hate is going to go on to where they're going to try to end us and kill us. And it said a perpetual hatred. So that hate is so strong that as long as we here, we're going to be under their slavery, their captivity, because they hate us.
That perpetual hatred means even if they die and come back, they're going to hate us again.
Exactly.
And that's an ongoing hatred. That's a non-stop hatred.
Exactly. Go ahead.
And has shed the blood of the children of Israel.
And has shed the blood of the children of Israel. So it's telling you right now who the so-called white man and the other nations hate, which are the children of Israel. Those 12 tribes, Negro, Indian, and Hispanic descent. Go ahead.
By the force of the sword in the time of their calamity.
By the force of the sword in the time of their calamity. That was talking about the 70 AD destruction of Israel running into the interiors of Africa to hide from Roman persecution. And it says, by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity. Calamity is talking about trouble. When they invaded our land and we had to run for safety. Now you put it into today's terms. We running from the police. And now you change that sword to a gun. And what are they doing? They're killing us by the sword today. And it tells you in the book of Genesis that Esau, the so-called white man, was the master of the sword, which means he was a master of war and weapons.
Right. At the same time, in their calamity, think about it, right? In our calamity, we already get destroyed people, right? So, I mean, what more can you do to us? So this man comes down on you in the time of your calamity. You understand? You already down. That's like kicking a dude when he's down. You understand what I'm saying? It says, in the time of their calamity, you already living in the ghetto. You living in the most horrible conditions. And he's still putting his foot on your neck. We read on. By force of the sword. By force of the sword. The sword is also the gun. You understand? They shooting you dead in the street, in the ghettos, letting you lay in the gutter for hours at a time. You already destroyed. You understand what I'm saying? Then they come into your neighborhood in a destroyed condition and destroy you even more.
I got something for you, and I can read it. Luke 21 and 20 to 21. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, talk about the Roman army coming down on us and chasing us out of our homeland, then ye shall know desolation thereof is nigh. Nigh is an old quick English word which means near. So we knew by breaking the Most High laws that the destruction of our people and us scattering, the destruction was high. Then it says, then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. So when we was in our whole land, we fled to the mountains, which is known as Africa today, to hide from Roman persecution. And then it says, and let them which are in the midst of thee depart out of it. So we was trying to warn our people that this is happening right now. Even today, we are warning our people to separate out of this country and leave the spirit of America and to tend to our own people's spirit, which is what's contained in these scriptures today. Everybody of Negro, Indian, Hispanic descent, come back to the knowledge and wisdom and understanding that the Most High and Yahweh Christ has for you, which is in this Bible. This is our history right here. You want to know where real Black history at? It's in the Bible and under the righteous teaching of the I.S.U.P.K. and commanding GEN.YAHANNA. We will teach you about who you are, where you come from, where your lineage stems from, which is in the Bible. This is our Black history right here. And it shows you how to love and treat your own people and how to love your people and your brother.
Right. Black history, that's our Constitution. That's our law, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
It says, in the time that their iniquity had an end, we were finished doing wrong, doing evil. Even when you stop doing evil, this white man still want to destroy you. You ain't got your life together. Your iniquity is over. In the end of your iniquity, you ain't even doing anything wrong anymore. This white man comes along and destroys you. They have no love for us. And this is the reason why We got to separate from this white man. This white man has totally destroyed us.
Go to verse 22, Luke 21 and 21 and 22.
You said Luke?
Yeah, Luke 21 and 22.
Okay, Luke 21 and 22. I got you. Luke chapter 21, verse 22. And it's written in red. This is Yahweh Shah Mashiach. This is Christ speaking. Luke chapter 21, verse 22. For these be the days of vengeance.
For what?
For these be the days of vengeance.
These be the days of vengeance, which means what's happening right now, the so-called white man and these other nations are taking vengeance upon us. Because why? They know who we are. They know we the most high people. They know we the greatest thing on earth. But they're trying to kill us in these streets today to try to erase our history, which is located in the Bible. Go ahead.
That all things which are written may be fulfilled.
That all things which are written may be fulfilled. Everything in this Bible is going to be fulfilled. All these prophecies in the Bible that all the prophets had told us about, that the Most High had told the Most High had told the Yahweh Shah, Christ, that the disciples, that the apostles, that's everybody in this Bible that's of that the Most High has spoke to is telling us about these events now. So the things that are written for our learning in these times now. These things were written before time, before we ever came here. So guess what? These prophecies in this Bible is going to be fulfilled. And one of the prophecies is them going into slavery, because while we were into slavery under captivity of them, Revelation 13:9-10. He that have an ear, let him hear. Those who put us into captivity shall go into captivity, which means they had put us into captivity, put us in slavery. We are going to do that to them because why? It's righteous. The Most High say so. Hold your point. Then it says, those that kill with the sword must be killed with the sword. So what is some of this? One is the sword that they killed us by, sicking dogs on us, putting us in institutions, putting us in jail, letting us rot in jail cells, putting mounted charges on us, taking our children, our freedom away, killing us with the guns, all this type of wicked stuff these so-called nations had done us. And guess what? They had not paid for it yet. But the Most High said, he that killed with the sword must be killed with the sword, which means their time to pay for it is coming very soon. Go ahead. Live. That's the point that I wanted to make. So go back to Psalms.
Psalm 83.
Okay. Yeah, because we was in verse 2. He was going into verse 2. He was in verse 2 going to 3.
Okay.
You got that?
Come. Verse 3. Psalms 83, verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
It says they have taken crafty counsel against our people. This is basically talking about all the so-called white man being the head of the United Nations coming together to put up plans on how to destroy us. That United Nations, name one North Native Indian that has a seat in the United Nations. Name one Hispanic that has a seat in the United Nations. Name one black person that has a top seat in the United Nations. We don't have that. So it says they had did what? Taken what?
Crafty counsel.
Crafty counsel. Crafty counsel is talking about skilled planning on how to destroy us. Go ahead.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden one.
And consulted against thy hidden ones. Our hidden ones is talking about the so-called white man, his wicked self, and his descendants running this nation, being his and being top over us, making these plans to destroy us. So when they go and have those meetings at the UN, it ain't to get together for one world peace, because the Most High never wanted that. The Most High never said for the nation of the world to come together and we all be holding hands and being happy. This is talk about the whole UN making plans to destroy the Most High chosen people. That's why they're taking crafty counsel, which means skilled plans on how to destroy us as a nation. Go ahead.
They have said, Come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
It says they have said, which means the so-called white man and the other nations coming together, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. They know that if we become the nation that the Most High want, according to these laws, statutes, commandments, our Constitution, that we will rise up above them real soon, and they will be what we were to them. They will be slave men and slave women. They will have to build up what they destroyed of ours. They will have to teach our history to their children, which is in the Bible. And guess what? They won't fade away, because why? They've taken crafty counsel against us and the hidden ones, which is our people being the greatest people on the face of the planet in this Bible. Go ahead.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
That the name of who?
Israel may be no more in remembrance.
That the name of Israel, talk about the 12 sons of Jacob, those 12 tribes may be in no more remembrance. And why we are not in remembrance anymore, and that they claim that this is fake and phony? Because when they changed the faces of the judges thereof, like it says in the Bible, they put themselves up as God. They put themselves up as Christ, as the angels, as Job, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, as those prophets and apostles. They put themselves up as that to cover our faces.
That's a whitewash.
Exactly. That's whitewash. That's in 1 Maccabees 3 and 48. For the heathen went into the book of the law and changed the images thereof, which means all our history, they put their face on our history. Go ahead.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
For they have consulted together with one consent. That one consent is them coming together in one mindset to destroy us. And that goes along back into the Tower of Babel, when all of them had got together and tried to build a tower up to the Most High to try to fight them. But what did the Most High do? The Most High said, from this thee, I will throw down with thee, which means the Most High is destroying them. Why? Because your arms is too short to box with the Most High. Go ahead.
They are confederate against thee.
The word confederate means against, which means to go against. So these other nations had came and tried to go against us, which the Most High had maintained us and told us to come back together, which is in Zephaniah 2 and 1. Gather ye selves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired. Who is more not desired than the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians here on earth right now? You got the so-called white man trying to destroy and put the Hispanics in jails, and some of them even wind up missing. Oh, how are you gonna have a people in captivity and yet over 1,000 people get missing within 1 month? Then you got the history of the black, the so-called Negro. You trying to erase that by saying, hey, just because we don't see the slave ships at the harbor, that means that didn't exist, that slavery didn't happen to them. We have older people which still exist today that can tell you about the times of slavery, that can tell you about what happened to our people, that still have the history and a good mindset to tell you what went on. So they can't erase that. Then you have the Native Indians. They killed over 177 million North American Indians. They don't run pipelines and oil lines through the sacred land. They had killed most of the buffalo, which buffalo was almost extinct. They had given us smallpox. They had given us diseases which were not known to us. So they did all this wickedness to try to destroy it, because why? We the greatest people on the face of the planet. Whatever we do, they try to do and copy and make money off of.
We destroyed over 100 million Negroes in the transatlantic slave trade. And that's 100 million in counting, because they still killing us to this day.
Exactly.
So we are really, I mean, think about if we wouldn't have went through this transatlantic slave trade, think of how big our nation would be today. You know what I mean? And then not only that, the transatlantic slave trade, and then they killing us by abortion. Over 500,000 babies a year. I mean, think about that. So they're killing us physically, they're killing us mentally, because that's as soon as a female get pregnant, what's the first thing she thinks? can't afford this, baby.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? I gotta go get rid of it. You know, so that's the reason why Planned Parenthood is in our neighborhoods. You understand? This is the reason why they're making it easily accessible for our people to get these abortions. You understand what I'm saying? We are totally destroyed. Not to mention the brainwashing that they put our people through to kill our own people. You understand what I'm saying? They brainwashing us to go out there and shoot and kill our own people. I mean, if you listen to the music, you see a lot of the killings that's happening on the street. It's modeled right after the music. You understand? And they wipe you out and destroy you from the schooling. And then when you listen to the music destroy you the rest of the way. I mean, I can remember back in the day, dudes would get beat up for getting high. You understand? Now it's like getting high against the joint now. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't nothing if you don't get high now. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't sniffing dope. I ain't never seen so many young dope fiends in my life. I ain't never seen a teenage dope fiend when I was coming up. You understand? And a teenage dope fiend was rare. We had them, but it was rare. But it seemed like all these young dudes is a teenage dope fiends. You understand? By the time
himself said by the Holy Ghost,
but by the time they get into their 20s, they look like they fit. You understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, our nation is destroyed. And it's going to take the ISUPK to get our nation back in order. And this is the reason why we telling y'all, when y'all have problems, this is where y'all need to come at. Y'all need to come to this ISUPK under the commanding General Yohanna and get your life back in order. Everybody in this ISUPK, we all came in here without problems. And under the commanding General Yohanna, we got ourselves together. The ISUPK got us together. Go ahead, bro.
Exactly. Go to verse 6, and it's going to tell you specifically who. Verse 6 in Psalms 83 and 6 is going to specifically tell you who is confederate against you.
You got that, bro? Oh, I get it. Where we at?
Psalms 83 and 6.
Psalms 83 and 6. I got it.
I got it, sir. The tabernacles of Edom.
Tabernacles of Edom. That's the biblical name for the so-called white man. Go ahead.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites. That's the father of the Arabs, the progenitor of the Arab race. Go ahead.
Of Moab.
Of Moab, talking about the Chinese.
And the Hagarenes.
And the Hagarenes. That I don't know. Go ahead.
And Jebel.
And Gabal.
And Gabal, slack.
Go ahead.
And Ammon.
And Ammon, talking about the Japanese. Go ahead.
And Amalek.
And Amalek, the so-called white man professing himself to be a Jew. He done took Judah, the so-called black man nationality, or the word Judah, and shorten it to Jew, and try to put himself as Jews. That's Revelation 2:9 and 3:9. Go ahead.
The Philistines.
The Philistines, which is a son of Ham, the so-called African. Go ahead.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
And the inhabitants of Tyre. Talking about the South Africans and the Ethiopians, the sons of Ham, which have sold us into slavery. Ham has sold us, what's that? I can't remember the scripture. Talk about what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Sidon? And it says they have sold a boy for wine. They have sold a boy for wine, and our girls like prostitutes, which is happening in the street today. They have sex trafficking. How are you going to let our people be taken and have them sex trafficked? Look what's happening in schools. One thing that they have happening in the schools right now is that they having a curriculum of having the LGBT community teach our kids on what they do. Our kids shouldn't be learning that. Our kids should be learning what the Most High want and what they should know to go ahead and get a job, if that's possible. Not to be learning the wicked and filthy, nasty things that the LGBT community does. All that fetish stuff and all that nasty stuff. Man on man loving, woman on woman loving. Our kids should not be learning that. But coming this semester soon, they're going to force our kids to learn that. Something should be said about that. The Most High don't have that in the Bible, men loving on men. That's why he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah by fire. The same way of the Spirit in Revelation 11:8, that Sodom and Gomorrah back then is the same spirit that America have on it. And there's homosexuality and there's slavery that we up there is suffering now. The Most High is going to burn America by fire.
We got to come back to our, we got to come back and we got to get our brotherhood back and come back to our own people. You understand? We just being destroyed by this white man. This white man destroying us any way he can. He's destroying us from all sides. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, we just destroy people, you know?
Exactly.
Just, go ahead.
That goes with Proverbs 1:22. If you know they're not your people, why are you fighting for them? If you know that they hate you, why are you even trying to stand or hold hands with them? In Proverbs 1:22, it says, how long will you simple ones love simplicity? How long are we going to stay stupefied and silly and ignorant to the fact that these same people hate us so much that they'd rather see us destroyed and rather not see us rise? They don't want to see that we're doing good. They want to destroy us. That's why they gentrify a whole lot of our own neighborhoods. They'll bring down the property. They bring down the value of the property price, have their people buy it for a low price, move our people out to somewhere like the county, which we can't afford. And then their people up there living high on the hog in our neighborhoods that we just left. That's the trick that they pull. And in some cities in the world, you can't even buy the land that you renting your house on. So that means you have to pay a separate land tax. That's why the scriptures say you will go into need and want to these heathen in the want of all things, which means for your food, for your clothing, for your rent. Even if you drive in a car, you gotta pay some heathen taxes on that.
Hey, let's go to Tobit 4 in the Apocrypha. Tobit chapter 4, verse 12.
Job, chapter 4, verse 12. Beware of all whoredom.
Beware of all whoredom. Keep, go ahead.
My sons, and
Hold up.
It says, Tobit 4 and 12. Beware of what?
beware of all whoredom.
Beware of all whoredom. This is talking about us dealing with these other nations, taking them for wives, marrying our sons to their daughters, marrying their daughters to our sons, like it says in Deuteronomy 7 and 3 on down to 5. Letting their children be with our children. Most High never wanted that. So their nations are known for being whores, selling their people, being prostitutes, not us. We are not supposed to indulge in the behavior of these other nations, being whores, marrying our people off to their people. The Most High just ain't with that. Go ahead.
Beware of all whoredom, my son.
Beware of whoredom, my son. Go ahead.
And chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers.
And chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers, which means a close relative. Not an immediate relative, but a close relative, which means a cousin or something like that.
Somebody from your nation.
Somebody from your nation, somebody of your nationality, somebody of your people. Not to go outside of your nation and your people and get a damn dog, but go and get somebody of your own people to marry. Because why? Just like Deuteronomy 7 and 3 on down to 5 will tell you that if you go and marry these heathens, these dogs, guess what? They're going to turn your heart away from the Most High and have you worshiping their pagan gods, have you doing their wicked customs, have you indulging their wicked ways. Just like when we referred to the white man, what happened? He got us into lesbianism, homosexuality, and paganism, which is worshiping these holidays and these other fake gods.
Why did God send the flood? Why did he destroy the earth by the flood?
Exactly.
Because of
Order.
and us marrying into the other nations. You know, our men taking their wives, our wives taking their men. You understand? Marrying into the other nations. When you marry into the other nations, you take on their customs and culture. You understand? And when you take on their customs and culture, you leave the Most High. You leave our customs and culture to take on their customs and culture. You know how it is when you with a woman and you do something, you doing something regular that you usually do, right? And a woman come in and she said, "Well, I don't like that." You understand what I'm saying? And you start wavering. Well, all right, well, I don't gotta do it this time. You understand what I'm saying? So it goes on so much that all of a sudden you find yourself not doing it at all. The thing that you was doing before, that you was right, you was happy. Right. You're not doing now because you're living by the way she wants you to live. Not saying that that's the way our women and our nation do. Right. But while I'm using that as an illustration to show you that we can be easily manipulated into doing the things that we should be doing by when we marry into other cultures.
Exactly, and also chiefly and mainly talk about taking on these other nation gods, worshiping them, which is that rock and Mecca, which is that wooden cross, or which is that so-called homosexual looking statue Buddha, and all these other nation gods out here. When we did that, the Most High was wroth with us, which means he was mad, he was angry, he was mainly peed over, because why? We went away from him and deal with something that wasn't even ours. We started being with these other nations, started taking upon their custom. That's why in the scriptures in Jeremiah 10:2, the Most High say, "Learn not the way of the heathen," which means don't deal with what they deal with. Deal with what the Most High says for you to deal with, which is in the Bible.
Exactly. Go ahead.
And take not a strange woman to wife.
Take not a strange woman to wife. Take not those women from them heathen nations. Don't put your seed up in that woman from a heathen nation. You understand what I'm saying? Because just like we said before, when you start marrying those women from those heathen nations, you begin to take on their customs and their culture. You marry those women from the heathen nations, you begin to move away from the Most High. And you start to move towards their gods. You understand what I'm saying? Read. You got something?
No, I was gonna say, because you got strangers that had crept in unaware. Like you got Tracy Ellis Ross. She may look like us, but no, she not us. Her father is a Jewish white man. Who else? Like you got the sisters Tia and Tamara.
Right.
Sade. Exactly, Sade. Where is she? A Pakistani or what?
She
white?
Yeah,
heathen. Yeah, Sade.
Oh my God.
Sade is a heathen.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
The music bad as hell. The music nice as I don't know what. But yeah, she a heathen.
Don't let that broke my heart.
That's one of the songs too. You broke my heart.
Hold on. I'm away from her. She is out of my heart. She is out of my heart. I hate her. God damn.
Yeah, you can listen to it, but don't get with her. You can listen to it, don't get with her.
No, I ain't even gonna listen to it no more. Oh my God. Lord help us.
Bob Marley.
This is the reason why we can't marry into these things. You see what they doing?
Listen to what Not Dissolve say.
They figuring us out.
Bob Marley. One love.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Bob Marley, one love. Most I never say to be one love with the whole world. Right. He said, love your own people.
You know what? They really destroyed me by her, Halle Berry.
Oh, she is. Halle Berry even too.
Oh my.
What you talking about?
He just shot me down. Oh my.
Really?
Halle Berry, yeah.
No.
Yes. Her mother black, her father white.
Oh my God. We need to put out a book When we need to get these people up out of our nation, we carrying them too.
Holly Berry don't look very good now, do she?
Oh my God. Oh boy, I ain't even gonna ask about nobody else. I don't know no more.
That's why you gotta be careful. That's why you gotta be careful, because you gotta think about it like this. They was taking out women in the slavery times, taking them and forcing them against their will to have sex and babies.
Oh man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Halle Berry followed her own natural instinct.
You seen her? You seen on the Flintstones, didn't you? Oh my God, she shouldn't. Swordfish. Oh my.
It'll be all right, bro. It'll be all right. You got 12 flavors and 12 tribes to choose from.
Having a ball, don't he? And I used to get mad about it too.
Yeah, she got some monster.
Monster ball. What is monster ball?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And you know what? I don't know whether it's true. It might be true and it might not. Some of them scenes with Billy Bob Thornton that Halle Berry did was real.
Son of a bitch.
She said, make me feel again. Yeah, really.
We need to get some incense up in here.
Yeah, real porn.
Burn some incense. We got to burn some incense up in here.
I'm going right now.
That's that smell? Oh, okay, all right. I thought that was just my senses.
Most high Christ.
We got the incense going. Hey, that. Where we at, man? Where we at? It broke my heart, man. I ain't asking about no more women.
That's why I say
You're gonna give me an ulcer.
That's why I say stick to somebody of your own people.
Oh.
You don't have to guess.
Where you at? Where you at?
We at 12. I'll continue reading.
Go ahead, take it.
Like, yeah, I'm laughing too hard at that.
And take not a strange woman to wife, which is not of thy father's tribe.
Which is not what?
Of thy father's tribe.
It said, take not a strange wife that's not of thy father's tribe. Which means if she ain't your people and she not of your nationality, leave that heathen, that dog alone. You wouldn't mess with a dog who was gritting and baring his teeth or growling at you, would you? So leave these other nations alone. Deal with your own people. Love your own people. The Chinese don't go and be like, let me give a helping hand to our people. The Chinese stick with their own. That's how they build up these businesses. That's how they up there taking in this money of our black dollars in their neighborhoods and restaurants.
They're not under the law.
Exactly. They're not under the law. Our people are under the law.
If they want to do, they can bring the law they want. They ain't under the law.
Exactly.
Under the law.
You know what's crazy though? You know what's crazy though is that their brotherhood is strong amongst them, and that's how our brotherhood should be. Their brotherhood is so strong. Somebody tell me, where do these Chinese people live at?
Exactly.
Have anybody seen the Chinese community? Look, have you seen the Chinese community?
No.
Because I know they're not. I know they're not catching.
Chinatown.
I know they're not. Yeah, but I know they're not catching a plane back to China every night and coming back
They
here.
got Chinatown in every state.
Yeah, they got one. But the thing is, though, right? Where are their communities? This is the thing. But what I'm trying to say is, they so tight with their community, they don't even let you know where they live at.
Right.
If you go into the Chinese store, I did it before. You go into the Chinese store, where do you live at? They're laughing because he's taking your money and taking it back to his people, and they live in swell.
Right.
At the same time, we not supporting you. You understand? That's a brotherhood, and this is the way we should be. You understand what I'm saying? That's brotherhood. It's them. It's the heathens, but they practice brotherhood better than we do. You understand what I'm saying? We see it every day.
When one of them get killed, they're rally up and protest and everything. They go crazy, man. They make the white man give us anything that they ask for.
Anything that they ask
They don't
for.
play about that.
I did a little research on that, which you was talking about, like where they live at.
Yeah.
And what they do is they live just like the Ashkenazi Jew. They live closer to us. Just like the Jewish man, the Jewish man community is right next to the black community.
Mhm.
So what the Japanese and Koreans do, they inside like the suburbs of the black community, like Randallstown. You don't know how many. It's a lot of them out Randallstown. They know that the white man's so wicked they ain't gonna live next to him.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because they won't live next to him. They live closer to us before they live closer to them.
That's the same thing. That's just like our Pikeville. When you go right there at the Northern Parkway line, you got the hood right there. And as soon as you cross that street, it's like a new world.
Right.
It's like a whole different world. As soon as you cross Northern Parkway, you got fighting and shooting right here. As soon as you cross Northern Parkway, you hear birds tweeting and everything. You hear crickets going and everything. You understand what I'm saying? I was living over there.
Yeah.
Listen, living in Pikesville, the Jews was living right around us, right? When the police came through or an ambulance came through, they turned their siren off. And all they had on was their lights whenever they came through the Jewish neighborhood. And when we was sitting there, we was like, we never heard all the years that I was living there, we never heard that the ambulance come through. We never heard the police come through. The only thing that would wake you up was you see the blue flashing lights, or you see the red lights from the ambulance. You understand? And it wasn't that often because they had their own security people riding through to make sure whoever wasn't supposed to be there wasn't there. You understand what I'm saying? They living the same way we supposed to be living. They living it right next to us. And we so blind, we don't even see it. You understand what I'm saying?
That's all across every state.
Exactly.
It's not just Baltimore.
Yeah.
It's New Jersey,
right.
It's New York, it's Texas, you know what I'm saying? Like New Jersey got what? I think it's called Ashland Park.
Right.
Right next to the hood.
Right.
The Jewish got mansions, right
because they know exactly what to do. They know what they gonna coexist, but they gonna control their neighborhood. So they can live right next to the hood, and all the shooting and everything that be happening right here. A bullet won't cross
that street. Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Read verse 13. Tobit 4 and 13.
Tobit 4, verse 13. Now therefore, my son, love thy brethren.
Do what?
Love thy brethren.
It says, love thy who?
Love thy brethren.
So this is talking about love thy brethren, which is talking about a brother of your nationality, and also it's talking about a sister of your nationality, of your same nationality, not nobody of another nation, but to love thy brethren. Go ahead.
And despise not in thy heart thy brother.
And despise not the heart of thy brethren. Telling you not to hate your brother in your heart. When you hate your brother in your heart, you got it in your mindset that, okay, this brother, I'm going to go ahead and do something now before he done it to me. That's a wicked spirit that's on you. So what you need to do is learn how to love your brother according to these scriptures. Don't do it just saying it. Oh, I'm going to do for this brother this day. And when he come up to you, man, forget that brother. You know, he vexed me today. He might really need that help. So why not go outside yourself to help somebody of your nation? Because guess what? If you help that brother and teach him in the right way, he's going to help another one of his people, another one of his brother, and so on. That's how you build a nation, by helping each other.
Exactly. Loving your brother as you love yourself.
Exactly.
You love yourself to death.
Exactly.
Love your brother to death.
Exactly. You love your brother to death, just like the priest said. When you love your brother to death, that means the same thing how you love yourself, you want to love that brother also. And guess what? When you erase that hate with a brother towards yourself, that means you build up a stronger nation. You gain more things. You can't gain nothing by hating your brother. Because why? When you erase that help of loving your brother, you erasing out your own people. And we can't have that. That's not what the Most High prescribed or said. He said to love thy brother as thyself.
Exactly.
Any more? You got another scripture?
I will. Could you? 1 Peter 2 and 17.
Yeah. 1 Peter 2 and 17.
1 Peter 2 and 17. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 17. Honor all men.
Honor all men.
Love the brotherhood. Fear,
Oh, Slacken. Read it from the top. 1 Peter 2 and 17.
honor all men.
Stop. It said honor all men. The men that is telling you to honor is those of the I.S.U.P.K. that's teaching this truth. They're out in the highways and the byways in the corner, teaching and preaching to our people to come back to the Most High in Christ. So when it's telling you to love all, to honor all men, it's talking about that of the I.S.U.P.K. teaching our people, raising us up from those dry bones, giving us the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of this Bible, getting us out this hell of this ghetto and this hatred that we have for one another.
Right.
And to love your brethren. So when it's talking about that, it's talking about those of the I.S.U.P.K., your brethren.
Right.
Go ahead.
Love the brotherhood.
Love the what?
Brotherhood.
It says do what to the brotherhood?
Love the brotherhood.
It says love the brotherhood, not the hate, not despise, but to love the brotherhood. That brotherhood is talking about of your own people. To love somebody of your nation in brotherhood, not to have hate. Because what has hate done for you lately? Hating your brother has gotten you no help. Hate has gotten your own brothers to turn their backs to you. And hate has caused us to kill one another while the other nations profiting off of that. It wouldn't be so many funerals if we was to love our own brethren, our own people. We wouldn't be turning the gun on each other if we actually truly loved our own brethren. These other nations don't care because why? You're not of their people. You're not of their nation. So why should they care about you killing your own brother? That's why these law, statute, commandments are here, so that we won't do that. So we will not erase each other. It takes less of an effort to let your brother live, but it takes more effort to go ahead and kill him. And then when you kill your brother, you're not actually killing, you murder him. So to murder your brother in cold blood is a sin against God. Exactly, you're killing yourself. Why? Killing yourself when you kill your brother. Because why? He is the same as you. No matter whether he's Hispanic or Native Indian or black. When you kill your brother, you are actually killing yourself. Go ahead.
Fear God, honor the king.
Fear who?
Yahweh, honor the king.
It said fear the Most High, which means keep these laws, statutes, commandments. And do what?
Honor the king.
Honor the king. The king is talking about Yahweh Shah Mashiach. Jesus Christ says you should know. Say, do what to the king?
Honor the king.
Honor the king. Just like Yahweh Shah Christ told you to keep these commandments and fear the Most High, which is in this Bible. That's what you should be doing. And you should love and honor your brother too. What you're supposed to do for your brother by loving him and doing in deed and not in word, that's how you love your brother. Any more? I mean, it's just my spirit. So
I got one. Hey, go to Ezekiel 13:4. This right here, this scripture right here is talking about our leaders of today. You know, the leaders that we have today, like our preachers, like our politicians, you know, the football players that, you know, that don't know how to stand. You understand what I'm saying? Got that, brother?
Come.
Read that for me.
Ezekiel chapter 13, verse 4. O Israel, thy prophets are like the foxes in the desert.
O Israel, thy prophets are like the foxes in the desert. The foxes in the desert are the ones that when the time comes to fight, they run. You understand what I'm saying? The foxes in the desert are just like our preachers and our pastors today. You understand? When it's time to stand up for something righteous, they gone. Feel me? Read on.
Ye have not gone up unto the gates.
Into the gaps.
It's like into the gaps.
What they're talking about, like if the war start, right? When the war starts and you warn and you got a wall right here, right? and the enemy break through that wall. That's that gap that they talking about. So it says, ye have not gone up into the gap. So the people, you know, when you got your people inside your fort, you understand? They supposed to go in and stand in those gaps. Like the preachers and the pastors, when our people are being destroyed on these streets, they don't stand in the gap for us. You understand what I'm saying? Those football players, all these sports heroes or so-called supposed to be heroes that our people look up to, when we being destroyed in the streets, they don't stand up for us. Them politicians, all these black politicians, we got a black mayor, we got a black city council, we got black commissioners, and nobody stands up for us when we being destroyed on the streets. So when it's talking about, you know, it says, what's it say? Ye have not gone up into the gaps. They have not stood up for us. You understand? That's not.
And I got a precept to that. Isaiah 56:9. Isaiah 56:10.
Isaiah 56:10. You want to go to that?
Come. Isaiah 56:10.
Go to Isaiah 56:10. Hold your finger in that right there.
This is going to bring out the point that the priest is bringing out about us protecting our own and that our black leaders ain't doing nothing. They have not done anything for us for 350 years, and even though we had a so-called black president in office, he had done nothing to benefit blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Matter of fact, he the one who passed the law on the LGBT, doing what they get ready to do right now, which is teach our kids about homosexuality. Why is it that us as parents can't even teach our kids what's right and what's wrong? Why you got the school raising them? Learning wisdom and knowledge starts at home. Then it's spread out abroad to the rest of our people. Not the school system raising your child. That's why some of the killing is happening, because you letting TV raise your kids, you letting the internet raise your kids, you on every other outlet that's here in the world, and yet guess what? You are not taking the time to raise your kids.
Right.
That's why this violence is out here so rampant amongst our people. But read Isaiah 56:10.
Isaiah chapter 56, verse 10. His watchmen are blind.
Is what?
Watchmen are blind.
These watchmen that is talking about these black pastors and preachers who are not taking a stand for our people unless it's a photo opportunity or money involved. Just like all these black pastors and preachers that's supposed to be fighting for our people, what did they do? They went to Donald Trump, had lunch with him, and was up there talking about things that did not concern our people. But what Donald Trump did was take that and was basically trying to tell them how to destroy our people more. Because why is it that all these churches, these so-called pastors and preachers need all this money, and they had not built nothing in the neighborhood where their churches stand in over 50 and 60 years? The neighborhood look like crap, but the church is taken care of. Go ahead.
They are all ignorant.
They are all what?
They are all ignorant.
Talk about these black pastors and preachers are ignorant. And this ignorance is talk about the knowledge and wisdom of the Bible, that they are ignorant to what's contained in this Bible right now. They have no knowledge of how to break down these scriptures or how to teach our people. That's why you go to church, you get a song, you get a dance, you are actually paying for a show. You got women sticking their behinds in church. It's actually a burlesque show. It's actually a whorehouse. The Bible calls the churches the whorehouse. That's why you got in and everything, every abominable spirit that's happening there. Why you got homosexuals up there in the choir, up there singing you a happy song, when the preacher and pastor should be telling you how to uplift your own people and leave these other nations alone? Why your pastor and preacher ain't telling you how to follow the law, statute, commandments of the Bible? Because the churches will teach you, oh, the law was done away with. When Christ himself said in Matthew 5:17-19 that you should keep the commandments, and whatever so mad of our people teach you to not do them and to disobey them, judgment is going to come to them, and they shall be the least in the kingdom of heaven, which means the position that they hold here is not going to be in the kingdom of heaven, that they're going to be the doorman. They're going to be with the so-called white man, building up the things that they helped the white man destroy of ours.
Right.
How to love the Most High.
Say one more time.
Church never tell you how to love the Most High.
Exactly. Exactly. That piece is actually right. The church never teach you how to love the Most High, because why? They don't follow what's in the Bible at all.
Don't love them.
Right.
Because they don't love the Most High at all. They tell you to do this, do that. Oh, you don't have to do this. Why you got them going to Red Lobster at the church, eating crab, shrimp, and lobster, and then they sick? Now they got the wolves and the belly aches.
Right.
That because the Most High told you not to eat that abominable stuff, not to do as they do.
They serve pork and church.
They said they serve pork in church. They have bull roast, which is considered pig and taking oysters and eating them. Why do you think they look so sickly? Why do you think people in the church always run to the bathroom? Because they limping or they got ailments like that because they disobey the Most High. So the Most High casts judgment. The Most High is not a respecter of persons, which means this position that they got here, they're not gonna have it in the kingdom. That's it.
Hold on, because I want to go back to mine. Man, you was taking the back down. You know?
That's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, you giving time check. Hey, go back. Go back to Ezekiel.
Got 1 minute.
I know we do. I'm gonna finish this off. This is my last one right here. This is it. Go back to Ezekiel 13:5. I was. Hey, look, I was already up on my touch. I got you. I got your back.
You want me to read?
Go ahead.
Come. Ezekiel chapter 13, verse 5. Ye have not gone up into the gaps, neither made up the hedge for the house of Israel, to stand in the battle in the day of the Lord.
And what it's talking about is saying, ye have not gone up into the gap. Like I said, when they knocked that wall down, it said men were supposed to come up into the gap and fill that gap. Either they were supposed to build that wall back up, or they were supposed to stand in that wall and fight. You understand what I'm saying? That's what he's talking about in filling in the gap. So when you step into the gap, you're supposed to be a soldier. You're supposed to be up in that gap. You're supposed to be fighting and building that wall back up. This is the reason why the Most High brought the I.S.U.P.K. in. You understand? And this is what we do. The I.S.U.P.K. fills in that gap. We step in that gap.
Right.
We step on them streets and we giving out people the law, statutes, and commandments. We telling them how to get back to prominence. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So this is what the I.S.U.P.K. does. We are the ones that stand in that gap. We are the ones that follow these laws, statutes, and commandments given by the Most High. And with that, I'm going to say we are the I.S.U.P.K. Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, coming out of 1 West 125th Street, under the commanding General YAHANNA, bringing you this truth. We've been bringing this truth since 1969. And since 1969, we've been telling everybody that the so-called blacks, the so-called Hispanics, and the so-called Native Indians are the true Jews of the Bible, and the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. We'll turn it over to our security so he can give a security announcement.
Security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General YAHANNA. We rule for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into school, they are to be off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, when brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to that brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. TITHES, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18:21 and Malachi 3:8 through 10. Means 10th in the Hebrew, and is pronounced by Asherah. 10th of every penny increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest funds, free will offers for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give, upcoming holy convocations. run an argument, likewise, check the social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK, even ISUPK events and materials. For a brother, if a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf.
And with that, we say shalom.
Shalom.
Courtesy salute.